2 Steven Soderbergh films in the same year in this economy? Wow. Both written by David Koepp.
Yes.
Following up on Presence, which just came out in January. We now have Black Bag. This is going to be a non-spoiler review. We're going to try really hard not to spoil. We're very early on this. It doesn't come out until this weekend, but we loved it as we wanted to talk about it with you. But just we're going to be careful because part of the joy is the discovery of it, etc.
I watch her and I assume she watches me. I would do anything for you.
Would you?
So here's what we can tell you. Michael Fassbender and Cate Blanchett are a married couple. They are spies, and they make it work, even though they both always have a lot of secrets to keep. Basically, whenever they're in a conversation and they get to things that they can't divulge, they just say black bag. And they know what that means, and they carry on from that. Other people can't figure out how they make it work exactly and wonder how you can maintain any kind of relationship in a world where you basically lie for a living. Well, their relationship is put to a test when Fassbender is given a list of potential moles. Someone inside the agency has revealed a thing. There's a MacGuffin. It doesn't matter. One of the people on that list is Cate Blanchett. Without telling her, he invites the other 4 people on the list to their house for dinner to try and pump them for information and see what they can find out. Those 4 people are 2 couples. One is Tom Burke from the Souvenir.
Well, also, he is Orson Welles and Mank.
And Orson Welles and Mank, yeah, that's true. Tom Burke and his girlfriend, Marisa Abela, who played Amy Winehouse in the terrible... but she was good.
She was good.
Back to Black. And then Regé-Jean Page and Naomie Harris. He's an agent. She's the sort of in-house shrink, so she knows everybody's stuff pretty much. And it just goes from there. And it's a really fun movie in that I'll tell you, I have a really hard time with movies that are strictly about like, oop, we're all lying to each other, and this thing you thought you knew, you don't know. Because after about 2 or 3 rugs being yanked, I'm like, all right, I'm disengaging now. And in the last 5 minutes, you're going to tell me everything. And I'll be like, oh, okay, that's what happened then. But this one has it just complicated enough and gives you just enough sort of red herrings where I was like, it kept me completely engaged. It helps that you've got these 6 amazing performers plus Pierce Brosnan, kind of like navigating their way through this. And I think what also helps is that while yes, the whole let's track down who the double agent whatever thing is, that Koepp and Soderbergh are really most interested in this marriage,
right,
and how it works and what makes this relationship tick. And like Fassbender is the king of I'm cut off from human emotion. I think that's been kind of his go-to for a lot of his films, not everything, but going all the way back to something like Shame even, I think. And so he's very analytical, like he's the guy you can't lie to. And so the way that he's parsing out everything while also wearing the black frame glasses and turtlenecks like he's Michael Caine as Harry Palmer, that was a nice touch. And then you've got Cate Blanchett as femme as Tar was Butch. Like she is just the long hair and the outfits, and she is just like luxuriating in all of this while at the same time being like a fucking deadly spy. And so I had the best time watching this.
Yeah, they do achieve a lot with like just makeup and hair and costume design. Like everything. I love every sweater she wears. There's a thing where they linger on a shot of a trash can in the bathroom. Yeah. She uses Elemis marine cream. I'm like, ooh, I use that too. We have so much in common. But that's a nice touch because it's like a really nice British line of like skincare products. So that says a lot about her to have that detail in there. This movie is so sleek and so sexy. It moves so well. It's like 90 minutes long. Yeah. We were just talking about Novocaine and how it keep going and it's a little too long. This is like in and out and like leaves you begging for more. It's so fun. Just the interior design, like the use of glass in that house and how that is a reflection, no pun intended, of what they conceal and what they are willing to share. And just like there's a cool, sleek quality to it. Like it's this really modern townhouse, but the exterior looks very kind of traditional. And so it's a nice metaphor for their marriage and for their jobs as spies.
That first dinner party where like the table is covered with candles and they're reflected in his eyeglasses. So you can't quite see his eyes. And so it's like, you know, he's trying to get information out of them, but he's sort of occluding, you know, what his intentions are. Like there's just so many cool choices along the way that I think really all add up wonderfully.
There's an incredible sequence involving a lie detector test.
Yeah.
And where they're all having to go through it. And it is cut so beautifully, so thrillingly, where like he'll ask one person the question and then another person will answer it. Marisa Abela in particular is such a joy. I mean, throughout the whole thing, she's like cheeky and inappropriate and sly and so quick-witted and so freaking charismatic and charming. But in the lie detector test scene in particular, she's having so much fun with that. And you can just see like there's like a vixenish kind of like smile and a twinkle to her eye. She's answering the questions. So, then there's a whole sequence involving a satellite, and that's like precision clockwork timing. And so all these things is like elements of spy movies that we have seen before, but he finds such a cool way into them. He and Koepp together find such a cool way into taking the pieces of things we know. Like you could very easily compare this to Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but it's totally different. Yeah. It's totally its own thing, and that's thrilling.
Yeah. I mean, my sort of joke was like it's Mr. and Mrs. Smith by Edward Albee. That first dinner party is so Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf in terms of like, you know, let's get the guests drunk and play some games, you know. And I'll tell you, I was so into that first dinner party, like the entire movie could have been that dinner party and I would have been on board for it. But it does set up enough stuff to where when you're doing the spy movie stuff, that you know enough about the characters and what they do and who they are, that it isn't just like espionage games, but it is elements of character and what these people are capable of and willing to do and might have on their minds or whatever. I love a good dry John le Carré thing, but I also love something like this that's really kind of using the spy trappings that we know to tell a story about people.
Right. It's a spy movie, but it's not really a spy movie.
Yeah.
You know, as you say, like it's in that world, but it's not what that movie is about. It's about trust and deceit. And it's about this marriage and how do they keep it going? And
what couples tell each other and don't tell each other, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Every couple has like little things that you don't know about each other, and that's okay. And for these people, that might mean life or death. But the way that they play it, it's so small and intimate that you come to care about whether this marriage can survive, can sustain whatever deception is happening. And Regé-Jean Page is beautifully cast here as well. Like if you saw him in that first season of Bridgerton, he's sexy and in like a disarming way, but he could have secrets. And anyway, I think he's really well cast here.
Yeah, the whole cast is dynamite.
For sure. What's your number then on Black Bag?
I said 8.5. I had a really great time, and I would go see this again, I think.
Yeah, I will say 9. I had a really good time too, and it all ties up very beautifully.
Yes.
And I think it's like a good, quick, zippy time at the movies. So
for sure,
Black Bag in theaters this weekend.